Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about the Jagr trade rumors. I know it's kind of a weird thing going on right now. Jagr is apparently unhappy with the Calgary Flames organization right now. Apparently he's been treating badly, something like that. He hasn't played that many games. I think he's like 22. He hasn't played that many games. Apparently he's getting disrespected in the locker room. Apparently the Calgary organization isn't giving him that much respect. And he's trying to get out. So where would the teams, or what teams would be interested in him? Now, I got my board, because why not? Alright, for the stats, Jagr has 22 games played, about half the season so far, so not that much of a sample size, unfortunately. A goal, 6 assists, 7 points. It isn't that bad. He hasn't gotten the ice time, though, unfortunately. In the games that I've watched of Calgary, he definitely hasn't gotten the ice time. He definitely isn't that, he hasn't shown much in the ice. He doesn't make himself a statement in the game. He isn't a statement player these days. He doesn't make himself transparent enough. 52.2% Corsi for percentage. That's not bad at all. It's not fantastic, but 52% for a guy who is 46 years old. I think it is. Like, that's unbelievable. That's fantastic numbers for a guy who's 46. Usually, if guys like that is at the age where he is in the NHL, he's playing that slow game, he's playing that good game, and he's getting those body checks, and he's getting those poke checks, and he's getting all of those done. The grinding stuff, he's doing that too. He's fighting stuff, everybody. But guys like that, aren't usually good on Corsi. They aren't usually good with their foot speed, all that. But Jagr somehow is. That's brilliant. Now, here are my totally unrealistic teams. No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to be as realistic with these as possible, but these probably aren't going to be right. Let's all be honest here. So first up, I got the Bruins. I was looking for alphabetical order, so I just went from alphabetical order down for the teams at least. First up, I have the Bruins. They have some great offense on the team, but they might want to shore up that depth. That depth was really exposed when Bergeron was. I feel like Bergeron was injured, and there's guys that were injured in that team. The depth was really lacking there, so maybe they could go after Jagr and put him at a fourth line role, and if somebody gets injured, put him at a third line, maybe even second line if it's needed, role. It could end up happening that way. On the Kings, I think that it could end up happening in the same way that Jaromir Jagr happened and was traded to the Kings last season. Kind of like the same similar situation. Kings are actually a better team this season, so that is even more reason for Jagr to go there. I think that's probably the most likely destination for Jagr to go, since the Kings are a little bit lacking on offense, just a tiny bit. They could use a fast guy after shipping out Palmieri. They could want to use a depth guy that could really skate. On the Minnesota Wild, I could see Jagr going there just because the Wild are a little bit. I say they're the most lacking offensive team on this list. They might want to get some depth going. They are starting to get out of those injury holes right there. They're starting to get their guys back, but maybe they want Jagr to get some depth for the playoffs, get some good depth for the playoffs, get some veteran depth for the playoffs, and there's some young guys on the team who could really use the mentality, the learning capability that Jagr brings, the ability to coach, just be an assistant coach on the bench. It really is good for some of these teams, and especially for teams like the Wild. Next up on my list, if Jagr really wants to go to contender, I'd say go to the Nashville Predators. Nashville Predators have been playing okay this past week. They lost against Arizona, so they're kind of on a little bit of a weird streak here, but they're still one of the best teams in the league, and if he wants to go to a real team, if he wants to go to a team who is really just a favorite to go all in, I'd say go on the Predators. Maybe, I don't know if he's going to get a fourth line spot there, maybe a healthy stretch, but he's going to be a good depth for Nashville at least. They could really use it. Instead of using guys like Gaudreau in the playoffs who aren't that great, they could use a guy like Jagr and put him on the fourth line, and hey, that could work. On the Blues, this was the rumor destination for Jagr to go in the offseason. The Blues were the main target for Jagr, and then the Calgary Flames stepped in, and then the Jagr chose them. But the Blues were right behind them. The Blues were the leading candidacy for Jagr to go to, and I could really see the Blues wanting to go after him again. In a trade, in whatever, even if he's released. The Blues, they have some decent offensive depth, but they may want more of that. Their real thing is on the defense and goaltending, so they might want some more forward depth. More forwards is always a good thing, but they can maybe substitute a guy in the depth. They have some guys that they could substitute on that team, definitely. And Jagr on a fourth line role for the Blues, that's not bad at all. And if he really, really wants to go to a cup contender, you go on the Bolts and you try and make a run. Now, the Bolts, they don't need him. They don't need him whatsoever. But maybe he gets put in the AHL. He has no spot on the team right now. No spot on the team whatsoever. But to have Jagr on the AHL and to have him as depth is always a good thing. To know that you have Jagr in the AHL just in case you need him. That would have been amazing 20 years ago. But if you have a Jagr on your AHL, that's a lot better knowing you have a guy like Jagr who can bring up in the playoffs. So to have, even as stacked as the Bolts are, they could still use Jagr in an AHL role for now. And who knows if they go on a Pittsburgh run where they are good and don't have injuries, they could substitute guy for Jagr, and that could really work. Now the Jets, with their injuries, have still played great this season, but maybe they want some more depth on the forward group, so maybe they go out and get Jagr. Now I don't think it's very likely that the Winnipeg Jets get Jagr. Probably one of the least likely out of this whole group, just because I think they're set. I think that they're good, and I think that they'll just keep rolling. I don't know if they really want to acquire a guy. I think their AHL team is stacked and they're playing fantastic. Their AHL team is doing great. And for the Jets, I don't really know if they need him necessarily, but hey, Jagr doesn't really hurt. And if you told me before this season that Vegas could be a candidate to get Jagr in a trade for this season, I would have been just unbelievable. Like, the joke throughout the whole offseason was, will Jagr go to the Vegas Golden Knights? Will Jagr go to Vegas? And it's realistic. That's the world we're living in. It's weird. Jagr could fit on the Vegas Golden Knights. I know it's weird to say that, but he could bring the coaching mentality, the important coaching mentality, to the bench, and maybe if he's even scratched, he could still bring it to the locker room. Vegas, I think it really works. Jagr definitely is. Definitely would work in Vegas. It's weird saying that, but I'd say it makes more sense than I'd say half of these teams on the list. Vegas could use some more forward depth, and they might want to sub out a guy for that. And Vegas, it's weird saying that they could be leading in the candidacy for Jagr. It was the joke of the offseason. Will Jagr go to Vegas? Will Jagr go to the Vegas Golden Knights? It might happen. But that's what we do today, guys. Hey, guys, did enjoy it? Make sure to like. Tell me down below what team you think the Jagr will go to. If I had to choose, I'd say it would be the Blues or the Vegas Golden Knights. But tell me down below which team you think he'll go to. Subscribe if you did not, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.